It's 4th of July weekend, and what better way to celebrate than to uplift and honor one of America's greatest heroes?
I may be dead, but I'm still pretty. Which is more than I can say for you.
Hi, my name is Z Marie, and yes, I am the last person on Earth to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Airing in 1997, the show is about a 16-year-old girl who has the duty of being the Slayer, the only person born in every generation who is tasked with the duty of killing vampires, demons, and anything in between that threatens to destroy our world. But if anything is scarier than vampires and demons, it's high school. Our main character is Buffy Summers, because her name is in the title. In the pilot, we find out that Buffy was kicked out of her old school and is trying to start over with her mother Joyce in Sunnydale. Why was Buffy kicked out of school, you might ask? Well, her old school gym was full of vampires, and so Buffy had no choice but to burn it to the ground. Yeah, she committed literal arson and still somehow avoided jail and passed go, and now she can start over. It's the 90s. Buffy's trying to get a new start in Sunnydale. She wants to make some new friends and, if possible, leave her slaying days behind. Now, she does come to terms with the fact that she is the Slayer and this is her duty, but she has a hard time balancing it with her personal life. It's a classic Peter Parker dilemma, really. I liked how in the season finale there's a school dance happening, so Buffy's wearing her dress that she would wear to the school dance, and she's got a leather jacket on top of it, and she's carrying a crossbow while she's wading into literal hell. Like, I love that. That is visual storytelling. That is the duality of woman right there. Buffy is a very empathetic person who's willing to do whatever it takes to help her friends, people she just met, even people she might not like that much. Buffy, just in general, is a badass. My girl can dress too, okay? You can't say Buffy the Vampire Slayer without slay. She can be impulsive, but I mean, she kind of has to be because she's literally the only person in town that can stop any threats that are coming through. She also uses the Spider-Man method of making quips and annoying your enemies so it will throw them off their rhythm while they're fighting. So naturally, I gravitated towards that. If you couldn't tell, like this, there's more up there too. There's another one up there. I like Spider-Man. All roads always lead back to Spider-Man in my world. That's just the way things work. I'm sorry. I don't know the extent of Buffy's abilities right now, but I'm sure as the show goes on, she'll develop more abilities and it'll be really cool and fun. But for right now, we know that she is hella strong and hella agile. My girl will hit a Leon Kennedy unnecessary backflip every now and then. We get to also see like really funny gags with her abilities that are fun. Like her mom was struggling to open a container and she turns around and Buffy just kind of like pops it open with no issue. Like, I love little things like that. The main villain of season 1 is the Master, who is a vampire that was trapped in the Hellmouth, which is this portal that attracts mythical creatures and happens to be located directly below Sunnydale High School. So if you thought your high school was hell, this is something else. If you thought, I can't even make the joke. And if you thought your high school was hell, it's not a good joke. I don't know if I'm laughing. If you thought your high school was hell, it's got nothing on Sunnydale. So in the season finale, in order to escape the Hellmouth, which is basically the Master's entire goal in the season, he drinks Buffy's blood and she falls into the water and she drowns, and she basically passes away in that moment. She is brought back to life, and we'll get there. When Buffy is brought back, she says that she feels strong and different. And I've watched enough supernatural teen television to know that that can mean nothing good. Up next, we have Rupert Giles. He is the very British school librarian, and he is also the Watcher. Watchers are the ones that are tasked to train and prepare the Slayers. He's incredibly smart because he spends all of his time reading ancient books, and a lot of them are in different languages. And he also serves as like a father figure to Buffy. And even her friends too. Buffy's parents are divorced and she sees her dads on weekends occasionally, but definitely not as often as she used to when they were together. The dynamic between Buffy and Giles is just so fun to watch. She's like the overpowered teenage daughter that he didn't ask for, but he would do anything to protect. Like, I love Giles. He's one of my favorite characters, and I'll talk about my other favorite, but he's up there. Sometimes Giles will predict certain dates that things are going to happen, And in episode 5, he told Buffy that something was coming. So they went to go wait in this graveyard while Buffy was like begging him to go on this date with this boy that asked her out. He's like, but this is important, the end of the world. And she's like, but teenage normalcy. And eventually he gives in because she keeps pestering him, and it's really cute. I just really love watching them together. So in episode 10, that's the episode when everyone in Sunnydale's nightmares come to life. And Giles' fear is that he will fail Buffy and that she will die on his watch. He delivers this monologue over a grave with Buffy's headstone, and it just hits you right in the heart. Like, he cares about her a lot, and like she's just a kid, and he's tasked with taking care of this kid, and it's just, he doesn't want to let her down. He doesn't want anything to happen to her, and it's really sweet to watch. One of his other fears in the episode was forgetting how to read, and I share the same fear, so we were connected in that way. Willow Rosenberg is one of Buffy's best friends. Willow's one of the smartest people in school, and she's very shy, but she will stand on business when she needs to. She's also a very skilled hacker, and she does research for Buffy with Giles when they need it. Now, because she is the shy, nerdy type, she gets picked on by the more popular students. When Buffy first gets to Sunnydale, she notices this and attaches to Willow pretty quickly. I'm so excited to see where Willow goes from here, because I know that she becomes a witch. I have no idea how it happens. No one tell me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I can't talk about season 1 Willow without discussing her best friend.
I laugh in the face of danger, then I hide until it goes away.
Xander Harris. Before watching the show, I heard all about Xander. I knew people did not like his character, but I was trying to go in with an open mind. I was like, I'm trying to go in with fresh eyes. I don't know you. We've never met before. This is first impressions here. By episode 3, I was questioning his purpose in the group, and by episode 5, I was over him. It didn't take long. I see what you guys see. I even wrote in my notes that Xander is the type of guy that would either listen to a Red Pill podcast or pick up a microphone and start one himself. So not only is Willow childhood besties with Xander, but she also has a huge crush on him. The problem with this is that as soon as Buffy shows up to Sunnydale High, Xander is immediately infatuated with her. Getting a notification that voting is closing in an hour for Love Island. And it seems like Xander's like kind of aware of Willow's feelings toward him in season 1. But he doesn't acknowledge them. And, since he's in an unrequited love situation with Buffy, we have to go through listening to him whine about her getting attention from other boys and not liking him back. And it's very annoying. Like, just, brother, learn to take your L's on the chin like the rest of us, all right? Honestly, he was starting to lose me in episode 2 when his friend Jessie is taken by vampires. Buffy tells Xander to stay put. She's gonna go get Jessie. And Xander fires back because he's like, oh, I knew you were going to throw this in my face. You think I'm less of a man and you think I'm inadequate. And it's like, no, you loser. She's the literal chosen one. And you are just some regular teenage guy. Like, you're just a guy. What are you going to do to help? By episode 3, I was wondering what service Xander provides to the team. Willow is the hacker. Giles is the watcher. Buffy is the muscle. He is just here. Episode 4 starts with a scene of Buffy fighting vampires at the local club that they go to called the Bronze. And a side note, I miss the era of teen television where they used to have like this club hangout and they would just have musical artists go up there just to promote their music. So Buffy's fighting vampires at the Bronze, and Xander starts throwing punches at them. And as soon as he started doing that, I said out loud, oh, this is a dream sequence, because he was being productive. And I was correct, because 2 seconds later, he hopped on the stage and started shredding on the guitar and then woke up drooling. Now, over the course of the season, he does start to help a little bit more. His main thing is kind of just like holding up the crucifix at the vampires and just kind of scaring them that way. That's the thing he does often. And he managed to hit one of them one time. So, thanks. And Xander actually is the one that brings Buffy back to life in the season finale with CPR. That was after she officially rejected him. because he did ask her out in the finale, and he was, of course, a whiny man baby about it. But then he saved her life, so they kind of set it up like it was going to be a thing, and I really don't want it to be. Xander's pretty much here to just be comic relief and pine for Buffy, but there's one person in this show that is the real comic relief that we need to discuss, and her name is Cordelia Chase. Cordelia really is one of my favorite characters in the show. She is the most popular girl at Sunnydale, and when Buffy first arrives, she tries to actually make friends with her because Buffy moved from LA, which is like a cool place, and then my girl can put that shit on. So of course she was like, oh, you need to hang out with me. Shortly after seeing how Cordelia treats Willow, Buffy pretty much distances herself from her. I think it was in episode 1 where Buffy was going to accidentally stab Cordelia with a stake. After that, Cordelia was like, oh, you're weird. I don't want to hang around you. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You know, you don't want to hang around people who might stab you with a stake. I'm not kidding when I say that every line out of Cordelia's mouth is gold. The girl doesn't miss. It didn't take me long to realize why Cordelia's lines worked and Xander's didn't. And it's because Xander is intentionally trying to make the people in the room laugh and the audience. And Cordelia, when she says her funny lines, she's just saying it. Like, that's just her character being genuine. She's not even trying to be funny. She just is. And that's why it works. Xander is trying to make me laugh. Cordelia is doing it on accident. And usually those are the best kind of people. The people who make you laugh when they're not trying to. One of the lines that got the biggest laugh out of me was in episode 11, which is an episode that's more focused on her as a character. She goes into the library and she asks Buffy for help. And
You know, I don't recall ever seeing you here before.
Oh no, I have a life.
And she's not even trying to offend the people in the room, but she is. It's just great. I love her.
And I know you're very strong, and you've got all those weapons. I was kind of hoping you were in a gang.
It was very clear in the last 2 episodes of season 1 that they were going to integrate her more into the group, so I love it. I love it. I love Cordelia. This is Team Cordelia over here. This is a Cordelia stan account. And Cordelia, honestly, she's one of my favorite tropes in TV, which is like the mean girl character that warms up to everyone over time. Jackie Burkhart, also one of my favorite characters to do this. And I have a lot to say about her. She might get a video of her own because I have thoughts. I didn't know what I was in for with the vampires in this show ability-wise, because if you watch enough or read enough vampire media, you know the powers will vary depending on what you're reading and watching. For example, in Twilight Breaking Dawn, Rami Malek is the Avatar. Now, I didn't know if this was like a budget thing or if this is just how the vampires work in the Buffyverse. I was expecting them to be a lot faster. They run at regular human speed, and I find it hilarious. Like, they're kind of like the vampire equivalent of Walking Dead zombies. If it came down to me having to square up with zombies, I would much rather square up with a Walking Dead zombie than a World War Z zombie. In the same way that I would never want to go up against like Lestat or Armand, but I could probably easily I could wash a Buffy vampire if I had to. However, I will say, as slow as these vampires are, they do look really, really cool. Like, I love the makeup they do for them. And what is a teen vampire show without romance? That's right. We're talking about Angel. At the start of the season, Angel is just kind of this guy that pops up every now and then to give Buffy some really vague warning and then dip off into the night. Immediately, you can sense that these two have some tension. The fun kind. We don't really figure out what Angel's deal is until episode 7, which is named after him. In this episode, he and Buffy are running from vampires and they end up sheltering in her house. So they do end up kissing while they're there, and Angel gets a little too into it. He gets a little too excited and he reveals that he is in fact a vampire. And then he just jumps out the window. Like, fair enough, brother. Now, I gotta say, this trope written on paper for me. If I were watching this in my teen years, I would be gagging, okay? However, my frontal lobe is fully cooked, so now I can see that it's very weird that he's like 224 years older than her. She's 16, and he doesn't look like he was turned when he was a teenager, so we can't use that excuse either. So it's not great. It's not great. And it's with teen vampire romances, it's never like a guy that was like 17 and freshly turned into a vampire. No. He's always a million years older than the girl. As his own character, Angel does have some really interesting lore. He had a romance with a vampire named Darla that we do see in like the pilot episode, and she pops up every now and then. And she works for the Master. Together, those two used to tear through anyone that they came across. Like if you came across Angel, you were 100% going to die. That's the type of timing we were on. Angel was so dangerous, in fact, that he did kill his own family. Something that I think is really cool about the Buffy vampires is that when they're turned into vampires, their human souls are gone. They're taken away from them. In Vampire Diaries terms, they're basically reborn with their humanity switch turned off. So you know what type of timing we're on. So Angel does eventually get punished for, being a ripper basically and tearing through the world. So he gets his human soul restored back to him. So now he feels the guilt for every kill he's ever done in the world. Like he feels all that. He feels human emotion. Angel for 100 years hasn't fed from another human since then. Yeah, he turned his back on all the vampires that he knew and the lifestyle altogether. He basically just kind of rocks with the blood bags. After that episode, I understood why my boy got his own show. Like, it was inevitable. Dude has some, like, there's so much you can do with that type of background, There's so much you can do. I will be tapping into the spinoff when I'm done with this. Angel ends up killing Darla, and he and Buffy acknowledge that having a relationship as a vampire and a slayer, it will never work. So they decide that they cannot be together, and they have one final kiss. And I cannot lie, the crucifix that Buffy wears on her necklace burning into Angel's chest as they're kissing. Brother, are you kidding me? That is so tea. Oh, that is so tea. I'm sorry. I ate that up. I'm sorry. Like that is the kind of angst I need in my life. The show was building up to the final battle between Buffy and the Master, and I gotta be honest, it was a little underwhelming. I just thought the Master would need a more special way of being taken care of, because he's propped up to be so powerful. The thing that ends up killing him is Buffy pushes him through a roof, and he falls through the ceiling, lands on a wood desk, and gets stabbed in the chest, and then he turns into a skeleton. And that's it. I don't know. I thought he would be one of those villains that you think you're done with, and then he pops up again later, but nah, he's toast. He's done. This show gets insane. First of all, there are so many murders that happen in the school building of Sunnydale. It genuinely gets to the point where it becomes the norm. They find the bodies of teachers and students every other day in that high school, and everyone is very casual about it. They just go, oh yeah, Sarah found a body in her locker this morning, and the school doesn't send anyone home. They don't they don't make any announcements. They don't do anything. They just go to math class like there's not a crime scene down the hall. There's an episode where a student's heart gets ripped out of her chest and no one gives a Even the second Principal Snyder, makes a comment about it. They're students are talking, and he just comes up and he goes, there are no dead students in this school this week. Oh, what happened to the first principal, you ask? Well, Xander and a bunch of bullies got possessed by hyenas on a school field trip, and the bullies mauled Principal Flutie to death in his own office. That is a real episode in the show. A bunch of kids get possessed by hyenas. They kill their principal, and they kill this baby pig that's supposed to be their school mascot. It's awful. And it was bad because I felt more bad for the pig. In the fourth episode of the show, one of the teachers turns out to be a man killing praying mantis. Now, episode 8 has the lowest rating on IMDb for season 1. It starts off pretty interesting. We get like a flashback to this ancient demon who gets trapped in a book. So that book ends up at the Sunnydale Library and it gets scanned into a computer. To put it in Giles' words, there is a demon in the internet. This episode was so funny to me. It's so absurd, but the show just kind of like, it just leans into it. Now, I did laugh at the demon's like tech suit because it kind of gave me like Power Rangers vibes, but I mean that in the best way. And I did appreciate that the suit was a real suit. Like, it looks like something you could reach out and touch. Like, if this show can do something as a practical effect, they'll do it, and I really love that. So that episode with the demon in the internet is followed up by the possessed ventriloquist dummy episode, which somehow that episode has a higher rating than the internet episode, which I think is really funny. Instead of the dummy being possessed by a demon, it's possessed by a demon hunter, which again, ridiculous, but I love it. It's just the show just takes it seriously. Episode 11 is really interesting because there is a student that turns invisible because the teachers and the students all ignore her. Like, that premise is not weird. The weird part of the episode is that the FBI comes to the school to get the student and brings her to a facility with a classroom full of invisible children. Like, the teacher is talking to empty chairs. Empty chair, do a solo. That's what's happening. And I actually said, what the fuck, out loud when this episode ended. The way that episode ended, it was clear it was setting up for she gonna come back, and I can't wait. I'm excited. Yeah, the episodes do usually end on some kind of cliffhanger, which sets up for the return of some of the villains that we've seen in the episodes. So some of them are gonna make a comeback, and I'm excited to see it. Season 2 has 22 episodes, and I'm living for it. 22 40-minute episodes in a season used to be the norm. Nowadays, we gotta wait 2+ years for an 8-episode season that's not even that good. Anyway, at the time of recording this, I am halfway through season 2, and I got a lot of thoughts, so get ready. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. I'm going to be making a video for every season, so look forward to the next one. It's going to come a lot sooner than I thought because I'm really flying through season 2. Like, I'm locked in. It's so good. The only thing holding me back is the ads on Hulu. All right, you guys can go now. Show's over. Seriously. I don't, there's nothing else. There's no more video. You can go.